Hello, welcome to my channel, Christus Medicine. So I chose today to do another kind of reading. So it is a collective reading, but it's for the world. How we gonna expect the world to, where are we going? Where are we going in regards to the future? Um, Let me explain. We all have worries about and concerns about nature, pollution, and development of humanity, animal kingdom, animals instinctuous. Wow, I can't say it. But yeah, animals that doesn't exist anymore. It simply um, died because of extinction. There it was. In terms of humanity that has been involved in that, um, or pollution, but that's as well, you know, mankind. you know so let's ask the angels, let's ask the universe how we are gonna approach it with our us as beings, human beings on earth. How are we supposed to worry, or should we just work with ourselves? So that's the question we're gonna ask them. Should we just work with ourselves and then everything will be solved? I did a video because that's my belief. I don't believe that we should go out there and work hard on all these things about the environment. We should first of all look inwards and focus on ourselves to become, the true us, the true human with light that does everything with love and care, compassion for everything, you know. And if we do that, and we can think like, yeah, but the neighbor is not doing it, the fisherman is not doing it, everybody needs to have a living, and then they will exploit different things to gain money, and they cannot quit it. Yeah, I understand that, but we all need to start somewhere, right? And then when you are on the journey of doing something better to find your inner light, everything will just magically appear. I know that that's like everybody sits home in their sofa and their chair and stuff like that, listening to this, and then they say it's not realistic, but it is. I'm doing it. I'm doing it where I say, okay, I put my fully faith and trust in the universe and within myself. I will walk this path, this spiritual path, committed, devoted to being, opening myself up to the inner true self. And with that, walking the path of thinking that I have to act and do and think in the most loving way with everything. And I start with my own actions towards myself and my surroundings. So, and that's a beautiful journey, because everything becomes much more lighter, beautiful, and things is working out for the better. It's showing it, it pops up every day that, I get options. I get option A and B and C, and it's up to me to do these different choices. And when I go to do something that I really shouldn't do, I get information about it from my higher self, but as well from the universe, and they say, "Hey, it's a free will. You can do it if you want, but it's your choice." And then Do you want to go down that road? That's okay. But it's all about a choice. And in the end, when I don't do it and I do something that is resonating with the path I'm on, where I choose to say, no, this doesn't align with me. It's not the goodness of, let's say, for example, with sex. You know, I'm in solitude, I'm in silence, but yeah, I want to meet love in my life. And I'm not gonna put myself out there, but then of course you have the craving of sex thoughts sometimes, but then as well, I will I will not go along with something that doesn't resonate. I will not just do it. It's against my principle. I can go out and have fun and things like that. Everything is not sex. For me, it's much more than that. So love comes in many different ways, and I want the package, like the whole full package. And I won't compromise it with doing stuff that doesn't align with me. And I don't want to go out there and not being myself. So I want to pick and choose when it feels right and it's aligned in a beautiful way, not just because there's one craving. So when I made that choice the other day, I was like, oh, she's nice and stuff like that. But I said to myself, no, no, don't do it, because it's not that, and the chemistry is not there. Why should you then do it? For the sake of sex? No. Because when I go into something, I want to give myself self-love as well. And she should have it as well. It goes both ways. So I took the value of respecting myself as well as her, and said, no, I'm not gonna do it. I will cancel that meeting. I when it feels right, and I do go out and meet people, but it has to be right. And then the same thing with the world. If we continue and working hard on ourselves to do the right things in every single little thing. So thought patterns, it's like I have a client, and I had to explain unconditional love, loving your pet animal. That's not enough. You have to go all the way down to the little ant, to the fly that's disturbing you, to walking on the street, meeting other people, your thoughts patterns. Like, I use terms like, I don't use negative words, I don't use hate and stuff like that. And it pops up sometimes, and then I go, hey, I'm just saying it, like almost saying it, and I stop myself, because I don't I don't want to even put that into my frequency. So I find another way to look at it, and the perspective of any scenario you have in your life. There's always options. There is the negative, and there's the positive, and there's in between as well. And you can always turn something around for the better. Always, you can always see it as something better. So let's ask the angels. So let's see how many cards. I don't know, but we're just gonna go with the flow. So let's see what pops up. We're gonna use all three card decks. And I always say, like, please don't, not too many, but that's not the scenario this time. I'm just gonna say, let's go for it. So ooh, I like when it pops out like that. Feeling interesting. we take one more. So when I do like that, it's just the sense. So angels, please let us. Oh my goodness. That was a lot. My goodness. And I said all three decks. I have a lot of crystal stones here, so I'm just gonna move it a little bit. But we got feelings, intimacy, hope. That's a good one. Creativity, turmoil, and love. Wow. And we gonna take my favorite deck with the birds. Um, ooh, Ba Soul Bird. That's a beautiful card. I'm gonna stay with that. Is that okay? Yeah. They say so so. It's okay. If you wanna be lazy, they say. Okay, let's see with these cards. These cards likes to pop. Like there you go. Three of Wands. Let's take one more, even though it's a lot. I know, I know. Okay, okay. We're just gonna take the top card here. Oh, cups. Like that. All right. So we are asking about how we gonna look at the world. Should we be concerned, worried, um, with the outcome and what direction we are moving in? So it's kind of a totally different question from a normal reading because it's about Mother Earth, right? So this is quite exciting actually. And the first card that came up was feeling. And we all feel that, it's it's like swimming in darkness. There is light different places, but we feel it's not enough. We feel naked, we can't do anything about it, and it's just like chaotic. That's what it expresses, like totally plain and clear. And I believe that we all do that. And what happens when we do that? And that's the most important thing. What we do with this card is they are saying that, we create that negative dark energy that is feeding the way it is right now. The current time right now is all about our feelings create that. And that's what I said as well. If we work with ourselves, we can change the world. But if we keep on focusing on how much fuel you buy a battery car instead, it's not going to change anything. It's You have to work with yourself first, because then everything comes automatic. If you have your values in the right way, then this your belief is different, right? So if you removed and you made this card a blue, and like the blue lagoon, like crystal white sand beach with palm trees, right? And you wrote feeling, and you had like beautiful coral reefs, it will say a totally different thing, right? And it will say about feeling, it will just express something otherwise. And that is the purpose of when we think about the world and environment and where we are headed, we think like this. And then that is created into reality. That's how we work with ourselves as well to create our own reality. If we did that, and it's just possible to change that whole environment just by working with ourselves. So let's keep it like that, and then let's go to intimacy. Intimacy, and you see like half darkness, and then you see like a sunset, and you have this purple and yellow. You even have, I would say, it looks like a button, right? Like you activate something. So very, very beautiful actually, because connecting with your inner self and going on this journey where you say, okay, I wanna tune into my higher self. I wanna use my abilities. I wanna work on my values. So I will get pure with good intentions towards everything, with unconditionally love. And that what it means. Like if you press that button from where you are now, in you see how dark it is, like you're in this world, right? That we are currently in this world. Everything is chaotic. You have wars, you have all these different things, and you just believe that everything is just the world is going to end, right? And it's not. It's all about us human beings doing the right thing towards ourselves so we can change the world. Imagine this. We have to start with ourselves. The more people who does it will become the source of light in terms of doing good things. So your values at your circumstances, that will just develop. It will transmit to other people. They will get inspired. Of course, you are going from that life to suddenly this life. Who doesn't want, when you see someone, nowadays it's about materialized things, a Ferrari and a big house and money, right? But even though we still have that and we striving for it, the world looks like that. So we gotta think, okay, what if I change it? What if I change it and I do this? I really do this. I can walk the street and just be happy with what I have. And you don't know what you're gonna get if you activate yourself, but you actually do, because you came to earth. You came to earth to do things. You came to earth to actually activate yourself and do something with yourself, your surroundings, and Mother Gaia, Earth. We all have a purpose and we all have a responsibility to wake up and do it. And what happens when you do it? All the things that we all put down on our blueprint is coming to life. We all have abundance and prosperity. No one is coming to earth to be poor or to suffer or to be in pain or to not have money and to not have, you know, what everybody else have that you think you don't have. So we all are receiving love and have the possibility to have that perfect relationship, getting married, getting kids, and things like that, one way or the other. The only thing is that we need to align and open up for our inner self. And that's where all the beauty comes automatically, because we attract it automatically. And it takes time to go from here to here, but trust me, have faith. It's a beautiful journey. It's such a beautiful journey because happiness comes from inside. Happiness doesn't come from materialized things. You know, when I do something, when I help another person, when I do things with my client or clients, and it's like when they get that uplifted feeling and they are really like, oh, I just got a breakthrough. I'm so happy you told me that. I will work on that, and I just feel it. And they get like, yeah, breakthroughs, confirmations. They get aware of what they have done to themselves, like self love, and they're actually making progress, and they can cry in happiness and stuff like that. Trust me, there's nothing better than that. Okay, I came to this life to help other people, and I changed my life from being a chef for 33 years or something like that. I could go out and make good money on a yacht, but I would rather do this, and I have my funds, and I don't know what's coming next. I do things with donation and pro bono and things like that, but it's just like, you know, I just have faith and trust. Everything will develop, and I just need to work hard and do my things, and I do it in the way that resonates with my values. And it just feels so good. It feels so good, you know. And I'm working with a client right now that has this situation with her own business, and then this struggle, and having that transition that I also is going through, but I'm just in a different phase. But it's all about taking risk and trust yourself and the universe and your purpose in life, and then walk on that path. And every time you put things out there with good intentions, it will come back. It's just like everything is already aligned. We just need to not have that fear. So everything is possible, everything happens for a reason. Hope. Hope this is a beautiful card because white represents prosperity, peace, and harmony. So when we go through these, let me take the cards, this kind of transition where we go from this chaotic, crazy world into an activation when we then start to be enlightened and aware of our own light and doing stuff that is reflecting on the earth we are living on, right? Then there's hope. The hope we always wanted, that we hope the ocean will be more clear, the coral reefs will be, you know, multicolored and shiny with a lot of life forms of different fish and sea flowers and stuff like that, right? And then animal kingdom, like the the weather is not changing, but it's actually just more green and things like that. Because if we, like, let me say, in Bali there is beautiful nature, dirty streets, but I didn't think, I was a little bit naive. I came here and I thought, like, you know, the locals will really take care. It's the tourists that makes the mess on the streets, right? And it's just mixed, but I see a lot of people just throwing things on the street, plastic and stuff like that, and especially the younger generation. And you know, as you out there, we have to create this hope. Hope is about our age. When we have kids, as parents, you go out there and you do something for yourself and earth, for all living. And then we teach our kids because they will do the same as we do. They have to follow. They cannot go on a sidetrack if you go on this journey, because if you activate yourself sooner than later, that will happen to them as well, because they're gonna see the effect of it. And that's how it is. Kids, they want to become like their mom or dad, the same work business maybe, or it's always something that mirrors our parents. So with that, we create hope, we create prosperity for Mother Earth. And this is saying as well love, right? Because it shows that we care about something, we care about ourselves, we care about living, we care about animals. And animals, we if you don't mind about flies or ants, right? There is ingredients that you can use instead of using a chemical. You can use salt maybe, or some natural product. So there's always ways to do things, and chemical is not good for Mother Earth and the environmental. So, like, I'm here, there's a lot of insects and animals. It is like a jungle, right? And there's lizards and stuff like that. And I'm happy they're here. I talk to them. I'm just like, there has to be space for all of us, right? And it's just much easier, instead of you know polluting myself using a spray, or get irritated about it, or you know use energy. So we create hope, much more hope, by going through these transitions, and then creating a huge prosperity hope for the world. And that will change to something much more beautiful. Um, I will say as well, when you go through this transition, that you go from that chaotic world and you start to activate yourself, and then you start to see the light, that there is something on the other side. Other side meaning other side of yourself. There is a true version within you that has certain values. So we are created to be loving, caring, good, right? And with that, there's no existence of all the other things, because it is a choice. You want to be on the negative side or on the positive side, lightness or darkness. It's not about religion, it's not about any belief, or you have to pray every day and do things. You simply just have to be grateful for what you have around you, and what your true belief and values are. And you can say, I want to have, to be my true self is to be good, and I want to love, unconditionally love. That's my aim. And you go after that, and every day when you walk, you just do that. Um, with that, you're gonna as well, with this hope card, they are showing you that you're gonna receive everything: hope, peace, and love. This is a much love from this woman to this bird, and she's very calm, she's very centered. It's like nothing can hit her. She's pure, she has clarity, right? This is the way we do. That's what we become when we activate ourselves and moving towards that light within us. When we are like that, whatever you want in life, you get it. Everything is just lined up. Creativity, and that's a beautiful card, because when we start, and let's say 85% of the world has now activated themselves, or let's just say 50%. That's pretty good as well, right? More or less. What's gonna happen? All these people with all these abilities only thinking about love and goodness, they are gonna create things that's gonna change the world in a bliss of circles of light in different colors, that the ocean will automatically be better. How? Because that universal law that we're gonna attract these things, we're gonna create things that, you know, companies nowadays, governments nowadays, they think in a way that is not always unconditionally love. Quite the opposite. It's about making money, having a safety net, and being on top of the top, right? And it's all about who has the most power, right? But if you go with unconditionally love and goodness, it's not about that. It's about a common, united unity of the people and earth, right? Because that is our home. Like, I don't believe in borders. Who says that a human being can be on this spot on earth? It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't matter where you're born. You can walk the earth anywhere and you belong to earth, right? It's not like you belong to a country. No, you belong to earth. You're a human being. Earth is ours. All of us belongs to earth. When we come down, we are born on earth, not in Denmark or Sweden or US, right? So why should we have wars? Why should we fight against one another, killing one another? It doesn't make sense. So this card is actually saying there is so much space and money and abundance towards the world if you just put all the energy into our own life with that purity, but as well the world. We could change this in like that, just like that. Instead of walking in shadows and hiding ourselves and then complain and be worried, that's what that darkness world wants us to be. That's suppression, it keeps us aligned. So this is something that for you individuals out there, think about it, because this is possible and it is going to happen sooner or later. I want you to think about this, what I'm saying right now. You have the choice to do this now, or you can say, I don't believe in it. I don't. And then later on, because it's already happening, people are just doing it slow. I'm here to tell you, you should do it already now, and start activating yourself, because sooner or later, other people around you is going to start, and then you didn't start, and then you have to start. So you might as well just start now. And it's not about um, getting first or anything else, but it's actually for your own health, for your own good, right? Who doesn't want to be immense happy, right? Who doesn't want to attract the good things into your life? Who wants to deal with seeing war at TV and news and stuff like that, and sit and complain about it and have opinions about it? It's not necessary. It shouldn't even be out there. It should be that we are now focusing out on ourselves, and then we're gonna create something good. If you do your square and everybody else does their square, 1 square meter at a time, then it's not the kitchen floor that's done, right, with tiles of light. It's the world, right? The world we walk on. So um and it's all about the small things in our daily lives. We start to change. And it's not about that we have to change in a way that we have to say, I don't want to work there anymore because their policies are not good and it doesn't reflect on mine. No, you start with yourself, and then with time everything will change. But we need to align ourselves with our true version of us. And then as well, you have different purposes in life on this planet that will be awakened to your path as soon as you activate it. When you press that button, right, the universe suddenly gets a pling up there and they say, oh, he just woke up. Let's start to give him information. They're actually giving you information right now, trying to get in contact. All has guardian angels and spirit guides, ancestors, connected with all human beings, and it's up to us to open up for the receiver or not. And then we can have it sometimes, but then we ignore it. It's all about us tuning in and say, okay, I want to listen, and I'm gonna listen daily. Whatever you want to say something to me, I'll listen. So let me explain this. Few years back, I got a warning, and they said you will see two red cars. Um, or they just said red, not cars. And then I drove, and then one red car came. I'm like, what? And then one more car. Not with that much time in between. And I was like, but I ignored it. And, I got the consequence of that. So yesterday when I said this with the choice I had, they gave me the cars again. Red car, red car. And I said, okay, thank you. This time I'm listening, and that's how it works. It's just like there's small hints and guidance everywhere. We just need to know when to listen, and that's so beautiful. When they say you get opportunities and you go in the right direction and you go blindfolded just with trust and faith, and you don't know what the next job is going to be, but you're hoping for it. And it's just going to pop up. It's just going to pop up in the most beautiful way. And that's how it works. We just need to do our work. We're not here to have this challenge in life. We are here to make this world as a heavenly place to live on. It's a playground where we can connect with one another and explore and feel and touch and taste and enjoy all the beautiful life forms that's on earth. That's what earth is about. And then you want to come again and again and again to enjoy, right? So this is the world. This is where we are moving towards. You just don't know it yet. And with that, you imagine what we can create and have fun with. I create art, and if the world is so beautiful, then the art pieces I'm doing now is going to be like this picture right here, like blissful. All right. So this is actually a beautiful sign because when we activate, right? When we activate and we go with that chaos, right? There is turmoil because there is a time for that transition, not only for us. Then I'm changing now, right? I'm in my transition. And then I still know there's turmoil, right? And there's turmoil on earth. And I'm just here to activate you guys and say, listen, connect with yourself. Be good to yourself, right? And then you're gonna do that, but you're gonna still feel the turmoil. You're gonna go to work and you start changing. I've been there, done that. And I worked on yachts where people were drinking, doing drugs, and working hard and being irritated and hated one another and arguing and love relationship that broke, and being mean to people like me because they didn't like me because I didn't drink. I didn't anticipate in those things they were doing. I was doing my own thing. I woke up in the morning, I did my walk, I did my coffee, my cigarette, I did my meditation, I listened to piano music when I was working. So I was just different. And then they didn't like that. So that's the turmoil. You're gonna feel like an outsider because you started to choose your values. Your friends that's not aligning with what you are doing, that's going to be turmoil as well, because suddenly you need to change your friends. And then it's let me ask you this. I did it, like, I deleted all my WhatsApp contacts. And I waited. And it was not actually me. It was the universe guiding me. In a frustration, I did it. Click. Right? And then I said, oh, F, right? Because why did I do that? And I have this contact and work and all these different things. And like, because then I got a message and they said, you will know who doesn't belong in your life, because those who doesn't reach out to you doesn't belong to you, right? And I was like, I like that thought. That's like it's a relief. It's giving myself freedom, because I'm looking at all these contacts and numbers, and it signals like every time you see that name, it relates to something good or bad, right? And then you have all these names and memories. I actually don't need that. Delete, 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 delete. So this is a turmoil as well. It's within that choice. Even a cupboard of clothes, I went through it and I said, listen, I need to throw everything out. Even my suitcase. I came to Bali and I was like, that bag, that suitcase, out. That stone, out. That t-shirt, those pants, out. I'll buy new. And it just feels like I'm cleansing out. I'm doing it in a way where I'm thankful for all these things, and I then say goodbye, and then that's it. But it's like letting go of things that doesn't belong to you. It's not only in your mind, but your belongings as well. Even if you have a house, right? And I do that with my client. It's just what you don't need, what doesn't give you good memories of, materialize things or not, value or not, get rid of it, because values are from within, not the outside. The outside, that can always be changed, that can always be built up in every way. So yeah, I threw out clothes, I go out and I buy new, and I feel good within it, and I put good energy into it. And it's just, you start to grow with it. So that's what it shows as well, right? With all that, you see the boat, it can be like, a tough journey, and it's scary because there's a shark. But then you in the middle here are just smiling and enjoying it, because that's the beauty part. We see it, we perceive it as, how I'm gonna do that, I need to throw that out, fuck. And then I have all that clothes and I paid 2,000 US for that. And but then when you then do it and you feel it, like, that's actually leasing something that you were attached to. We go with all that attachment to something. And I can explain, like, okay, you have a pair of pants and a t-shirt and you went on a date and it ended up bad. You were together for some time, or you were cheating on your wife or your husband or whatever, and it just has that memory, but you keep it because it cost money, right? But then and you forgave yourself for it, and then you said, okay, I'm gonna, whatever, you know the message of this. Then every time you look at it or you take it on, you kind of giving yourself that energy, right? And it will pop up in your mind as well. But if you throw it out and say that person, that energy doesn't exist anymore, this is the new me. And that's how it is. Like we distance ourselves from old past issues, energy, and so forth, and then we become much more lighter. Even if there's noise and storm around us, we are calm. And then with time, when we do that, as beautiful said, as the universe tells us, love, unconditionally love. And that's a very, that's just like, when we look at this hippie from the 70s, um, and they just walk around, flower power, grass, little fire there, music, everybody's kissing one another and stuff like that. I wouldn't say it is like that, but it's a good image to have, that they were feeling free. They could just be chilled out. Um, it is unconditionally love is all about feeling the freedom of whatever you want to do, you do. Whatever you want to create, you create. And you don't have to worry what's inside of that food, what happens when I go buy this in the supermarket and stuff like that, because unconditionally love. And if you have just 50% of the world being like this, things will change. Are we 80%, 90%, or 100%? Well, I can't even explain to you that the total world will just be purified, purified. And, as it should be. And we will be there one day. But it's going to be above anything that we can ever imagine. And that's where we need to go. You and me cannot stop it. Darkness, low frequency cannot stop it. And you have to understand that. This is moving forward no matter what. So we have the responsibility to do our part. We don't want to be standing and said, "Oh, I should have started long time ago." No, it's meant for us to start now. So if you're seeing this video and you kept seeing and listening, that's with purpose. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Everything. So if you resonate with it, think about it. Give it some time. Think about it, and you can always write or reach out. But it's important that you start to find your inner light and search for answers, not halfway or quarter way or 80% way. Do it full on. Start with the small things and move forward. Yeah. And love, unconditionally love, is whatever we do in every way towards ourselves and others, everything living, we have to give love, unconditional love. That means that you love everything. You approach everything with the most loving intentions towards that in every way. If it's a conversation, if it's buying something, is this gonna give you love in your life? Is that t-shirt giving you love? Is that phone giving you love? And you have to think about what is it giving you, but as well, what you put out there will come back to you. If you kill that ant, that's not a loving action. That's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is that when you do everything in combined is united in unity. um, so this is a practice we just have to take one step at a time and say, what can I do with my thoughts? What can I do with my actions? And then what can I do with my intentions? When we start to do it with our intentions, then we send a signal. We are all light beings. We send signals out, right? That's our energy frequency. And when we start to send that true unconditional love frequency up as a beacon that we are activating. They already know we're activating, but when you start to say, yo, I am intentionally doing this for the greater good, not only for me, but for all life. Not only life on this planet, but the whole cosmos, right? Because we are part of cosmos, and cosmos, there is souls out there that also wants to come here, that has already planned to come here. So we owe them as well to do this life better so they can come and have a good time. And when we come back, they are working with what we were working on to make it better and keep it as that. So you gotta see the full picture of it, right? And it's not only about us and our little world. All right, cool. So I'm gonna take this, um the Ba Soul Bird. I'm just gonna read, because I think that's best, because it's always a beautiful story. So it actually says, and this is about the world, right? So we're gonna go. I should have my glasses. Yes. Getting younger. In ancient Egypt, Ba, the soul bird, is the symbol for the essence of the human soul. It is pictured as a falcon with a human head. It represents the personality, that spiritual manifestation that leaves the body at the end of life, and is an integral part of each person's individuality. Ba is the symbol of the ascension of immortality of the soul after death. And that's actually beautiful, because I just said that. I actually said this with Cosmos, and we don't just do it for us, we do it for the whole cosmos, because they will come, others will come here, and we have our soul lives forever. So this is our playground, and we will come back, and we have to fulfill our purpose in our lifetime to make sure that this place is a beautiful place. If we ignore it, right, then we will still come back, and then every time you come back, you're gonna use these X time years, right, a lifetime, to go through struggle. And I'm telling you, it's not gonna be like, because you just ignored everything, that you're gonna come back and you're gonna be gifted from the universe saying, because universe is like this. If you have ignored your your purpose, you're gonna be put back, and your purpose is gonna be harder and harder and harder to make you understand that you need to learn, you need to grow. And that's the way it is, you know. When I ask for something from the universe, they're not gonna give it to me. They're gonna give me a challenge, so I overcome that challenge, so I gain strength to then make that to make overcome that challenge and become successful in what I wanted. It's not They're not gonna do lift a finger for us, but they are guiding us in every way to do it. And they will put things on our paths, so they will give us opportunities and things like that. And sometimes they will trick us, not in a way, in a bad way, but they will put things out to us. So they will say, okay, you have to prove yourself. You said you wanted a job, and then we're gonna give you one option, and then we want you to choose right. And then if you say no to that option, maybe a better option, but it could might be that the first one was right as well. So you gotta listen to yourself, right? And then if you make it wrong, you're gonna work in a circle of life where you work maybe a whole year, that you end up being back where you started, and then it starts over when you get the offer again. And then they see if you listen to yourself and make the right choice. And then some people will go in a loop. Loop, loop, I've been there. Loop, loop, loop. I'm like, what? I'm here again. What's going on? You know? And now I learn to listen to myself. And then I make the right choices. And if sometimes choices can take me 2 days because I'm like, ooh, I don't want to make the wrong one, right? But you know, it's all about trusting your inner self, and that's a transition. It gets easier and easier and easier. All right, let me just read finished here. So that was a little sidekick, but you know, a soul lives forever. Um, and I'm sure you understand that. Um, I am closely intervened with you and being shaped by you and your experience in your sacred life on earth. Let me just read that again. Sorry. I am closely intervened with you and being shaped by you and your experiences in your sacred life on earth. What constitutes, I'm sorry, I can't say that word. Your personality, your individuality, what makes you unique? Is it your warmth, your humor, your charm, your kindness, your helpfulness, your striving for higher goals? All those traits that make you this beautiful, unique part of creation become an internal part of you, a part of us. See yourself in all your greatness and beauty and accept life for the precious gift that it is. Wow. So it actually just says more meanings. Essence of soul, wander between this world and the afterlife, simple of rebirth. You know, we asked about this question with the world, you know, the situation. We are concerned, we are worried, but what is the universe telling us how to proceed, what to do with our inner self, and what will become out of that? And they are just saying exactly that with these cards. That's so beautiful. You can't get more confirmation than that. You know, if you're sitting at home and doubting, you know, you should rethink and say, F, man, I need to do this now. Because, what is waiting for all you individuals, what bright colors is gonna shine upon you, and your path towards that is gonna be amazing, beautiful. Don't you want to be part of doing a positive impact on this world and your own life at the same time? First of all, your own life and the world. Come on, who doesn't want that? And then I am a spiritual being having a human experience for a period of time. And as a spiritual being, I have access to all levels and dimensions of being. And that's it, when you align yourself, right? Because I will tell you that when I go to sleep and I have my meditations, when I wake up, or different times, but a lot of magic is going on in my life. I went through shadows and things like that, but looking into other dimensions and start to feel that I'm seeing things in a much different way, that I'm growing, and I get downloads. Like, they are giving me empowerment of being having psychic ability, so I can, like, telepathic, or if I think about I want to meet someone today, I'm gonna meet someone today. That's empowerment of the mind and the ability, but the intentions needs to be good. There mustn't be any doubt. It's unconditionally love, right? And devotion to live like that. And trust me, they know when it's intentionally, you can fake it. It's just, you have to be truthfully doing it in every unconditionally love way. So, I have nothing more to say than I'm without words with that. You already know. So we have two cards left. We have the Three of Wands and what was that? Four of Cups. Four of Five of Cups. Oops. All right. Gonna do this quick. 1 hour and 2 minutes. That's 102. If you want to look that up, because that means, and it says 44 as well. So new beginning. Zero is divine, spiritual. Okay, let me start with this, and then you can look it up as well. We're gonna take Three of Wands. So it says, a choice was made, a risk was taken, an effort was made. Now we can only wait and hope the result are worthwhile. In the distant horizon, we see, or dream we see, our ship coming. That's a clear message for you guys out there. Wow. Okay, I started on this journey, and it's telling you, it's your choice. We have a free will. You can do it or you cannot, right? But eventually the ship's gonna come in, because eventually humanity is gonna do this, because the minority of people, the movement is out there already. If you're watching this, your soul is already asking for it. Do you want to ignore your own soul and then listen to what's outside, what you learned in school systems, government, TV, news, all these things? Do you want that to control you, or do you want to listen to your own soul and do something in the collective towards yourself and the world? That's what it's saying, and it's your choice. It's your free will. You can do it or not. But we just told you here, they told you that this is where we're going and this is what you will get out of it. You will get this, right? And you will get this. These two things on Earth. So you don't have to cry about coral reefs doesn't exist anymore, because that's gonna be like you can jump in the ocean and just, you know, yeah, you know what I mean. So cups, 5 of cups. That's the last one, and I am very, very. I want a cigarette. I want to tell you this as well. Since I went on this journey, and I love my cigarettes, I love my coffee. I do runs in the morning, and I'm not bothered by it. You know, it's okay. Let me read here. So so it's oh my god, sorry. Yeah, I have chosen to tone down the emotion of this card from that of previous decks. In the Grand Luke's Tarot card is not one of despair, but rather of somber and quiet reflection. The lone figure without distraction takes the opportunity of her isolation to consider and evaluate different perspectives, consequences, and opportunities, course of action. My daughter is the model here, and that choice was quite deliberate and appropriate. All right. So what I would say here is that I understand that this is it's a big decision to take, to suddenly start changing, um, and it's not changing an apartment, a house, location, different place in the world, or you moving to another city. It's much more scary because you need to change yourself. Everything you knew about yourself, you need to change. Um, the only thing I can say is not when I started. Let me keep this on. Feel better. Uh, I did it for myself and my surroundings. And the angels, universe told me that all the time. Don't only think about yourself. Um, if you do this, you do it because they know me. They know that I think about others more than I think about myself, right? So I could pick myself up because it's not only for me, but it's for my sons as well. It's for my family. It's for humanity. So with that, sometimes I said, I'm going to give up. I don't want to do this. And they said, what about all the other thousands of people that you're going to help? What are you going to do about that? I said, okay, I'll continue. And that's what they're saying. Like you need to think about more than yourself when you go into this. You gotta understand this is a collective decision in the end. But it's all about, first of all, your family. If you make this move, you're gonna change your family from what they are now and what they live in that illusion, in that blindfoldness of world with a lot of noise. And if you become yourself, you're gonna attract things and you're gonna change them as well, because they're gonna suddenly see the inspiration and light in you, that you just suddenly gonna look younger. look, I'm almost 50, and I don't, I feel like 30, you know. It's just like that's how it is to go into your own self, and you cut all that noise away. And when I look at people now, people who are in that outer world, you guys, I see it. I see how heavy it is, like really like tight, you know? And um yeah, you know it. You know it. It just make your choice and do it small, do it slow, and do it in the way that feels comfortable. Don't force it. Just go with it, with flow in a natural way. Love and Lights. There was a long one, 1 minute and no, 1 hour and 10 minutes and 55 seconds. So that's 1155. Love you, and I want to say 55 enhance because it's double, it's change. All right, and 11 is new beginning. Love and light. See you. Bye bye.